Hi, I'm Mark from them Small Engines. Today we're working on a STIHL MS211 chainsaw. It's been sitting for a few years. The customer said they want to trim some trees this fall, and they tried starting it. It wouldn't start. Anyways, they brought it over here. I opened up the gas, and the gas smelled bad. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna dump the gas out of the tank, tear the carburetor apart, clean it up, see if it needs a kit or not. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, I drained the gas, and I noticed it didn't quite look right on the fuel line where the fuel filter goes. Right here, this fuel line is just mush, and it's all squeezed together right there. So you know gas is not going to the carburetor. Definitely gonna need a new fuel line. That's that doggone ethanol. After it sits for a while, it seems like it gets like an acid base to it. Even on old ethanol gas, you stick your hand in there and it just burns your hand. Check this spark plug here. On 2 cycles, I always like checking the plug before I get too carried away with it. That's how I know how it was burning and make sure it's not scored. Actually burning really good. Has a nice light brown to it. So it was burning really good when it did run. Pop that air filter off. Looks like we're gonna need a 5/16, or you can use an 8mm. Looks like we gotta take out this torque screw right here. And we got one here and one here. There we go. Now we got carburetor there. Take that off next. I'm gonna blow all that sawdust and stuff around there so we pull that carburetor off. No sawdust gets into the intake. I just pry this carb away from the intake here. Unhook the choke. That just pops right out of there. I'm gonna spray some carburetor cleaner on that, clean that up before we tear it apart. Okay, let's tear this apart. Check out the diaphragms. This is a Zama carburetor. That looks good. It might just be that collapsed fuel line what the problem is. But we'll check this side out. Yeah, that's nice and flexible. I think it's just that collapsed fuel line in the tank. I need to put this on this one here because this goes over and hits that arm there. This is where small fingers come in handy. So I'm going to put this back together again and replace that fuel line. And if I was a betting man, I think it might just run. The screen's nice and clean. This diaphragm, it's a little stretched out. I don't think it's enough to cause it not to run. So let's bring the saw back over here and Just take that fuel line out. Grab the needle nose here. We'll pull this. This is our top fuel line. And this gets pressed in the fuel line that goes in the tank. And this one here looks good. There's no cracks on it. It's not deformed. We'll blow it off real good, make sure there ain't no sawdust in there before we install it. And we'll grab our fuel out of the tank. It's just pressed in there. See how it's all sucked in there? Right there, then that's where it broke off. I think that's our problem right there. So let me go find, I should have one of these. Let me go find one. I'll be right back. Well, I don't have one, and I called the warehouse, and the warehouse is currently out of them right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to make one. It's really simple, and it'll work just as fine. We're gonna use this part right here that gets pressed in the tank. So just cut that off right there. Got some brand new hose. I'm gonna put a nice old cut on it like that. Grab some like WD-40 or something. Stick it through there like that. So now that's going to seal in your tank. I'll cut this off here, put a new fuel filter on there. Then this here, we're going to make a bend and just hook it up to the carburetor. And I don't know why they do these things, because after a while, it's going to start sucking air, between that and that. That is like a one solid piece is what I like. So we're just gonna cut it out. We're not gonna put the fuel filter on there till we get it pressed in the tank. So I'm gonna make it a little bit longer. Lube on that. And this arrow part, you can see there's a notch for it in there. Grab my piece of wire with that little hook on the end. So let's get that lined up. Just slowly press that in there. Till it's all the way in there. Okay, looks like it's all pushed in there all the way. It's good to have a little access here. It's better to have it longer than shorter. So I'll probably cut it right there. And I made a little pair of needles. I ground the sides off so we can stick it in here. And you spread it apart just a little. It's just stretch it out just a little bit. And this fuel filter should slide right on there. Okay, now the top part. Try it right here. You don't want to make it too short. But it curves in there, and it goes back into the inlet on the carburetor. Maybe just a smidgen more. If it's too long, it'll kink. So we'll take them little needle nose. Just stretch out. You don't want to do it too much, you'll tear it. I'm just gonna spray a little WD-40 in there. Okay, let's grab that carburetor and that fuel line. I'm gonna go right on this brass nipple right there. We'll put this on there and shove it in there and make sure there's no kinks. If there's some kinks, enough to pull apart and shorten this hose. You have to cut a little bit more off. So when you push it back in there, it was kinking on me. And you want the fuel line all the way open. You don't want to restrict it at all. So we got it pressed on there. Okay. Now we gotta put that choke linkage on. It slides in here. There we go. Let's put a little bit of fuel in there. I don't know, this little ball, there's like a little slot on the side. You put in there and the vibrations probably knock it back out again. There we go. Okay, and we get a new plug. It's a CMR 6H. And this hasn't started in a couple of years. What I like to do is just spray a little bit of WD-40 in the cylinder just to kind of lubricate that piston ring until the oil and the gas gets in there and does it. I'll blow out that air filter real quick. Click it into place. Okay, I'm gonna put it down all the way to choke and see what happens. I'm gonna grab a little screwdriver here. I'm gonna turn the mixer screws out just like a quarter of a turn. Quarter of a turn each, and after I get it running, I'll fine tune it. So there you go. It was the fuel line collapse inside of the tank. And that's due to ethanol, because the alcohol or the ethanol and the gas, after a while, it just gets like an acid to it, and just that's what it does. So if you're running your saw and you don't think the carburetor is dirty or something, you might want to check that fuel line. You know, your fuel line might be bad. So hope this video helps you out. Appreciate you watching. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please subscribe. Anyways, you guys have a good afternoon.